get started. Okay, welcome everyone. It's that time of the year again. It is 316 Carnage amongst the stars. The brigade are working on these aliens like there's no tomorrow into the final sector, Victor sector. And yeah, this is our 21st session over the last couple of years. And some of these troopers, and well, due to military efficiency, not troopers anymore. But yeah, let's get my name's Donna, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm running the game tonight. We're short one player who will hopefully join us later on. But let's go in rank order from major down and get intros from our players and their characters.
I am Brian, he, him, and I am playing Major Terry Miter, also he, him, who was in the very first session of this way back when, and has maybe I think a little bit less than half of the sessions Terry has been there for. Almost like every other time it's gone up on the calendar, I've been able to join. And yeah, started as a trooper, promoted to sergeant off screen, and then it's made it all the way up to major since
then. And what do we know about Major Miter? What's his reputation in the brigade?
Major Miter, as a trooper, was like very nervous, and then as he's getting a little more confidence, that's maybe changed to just like more energy than the people underneath him would like. He's always pushing everyone and kind of hyperactive, wanting to keep an eye on everything, which yeah, probably his subordinates would appreciate a little less observation, but that's how it goes.
Cool. Okay. And Pocket, let's hear about now Lieutenant Dietrich.
Hi there, I'm Puckett. I use he, him pronouns, and today I'm playing Lieutenant Dietrich. And, well, I don't really know why I've been promoted. Kill a lot of things. Like, a lot. I mean, it's kind of what happens I mean, I could give Betsy to just about anybody, and they'd probably have like 500 kills in about 3 seconds. But, I miss my mama. I miss home, and I just try to keep the people who are with me alive. Figure if we all make it home, it's a good day.
Okay, and rejoining us after a sector elsewhere, Rich and Trooper Frost.
Hey, I'm Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and I am playing Trooper Frost, who has a reputation for being ice cold. Yeah, he's got a strength of frack this BS, and yeah, he's super low rank. I don't know. I think he's been in the stuff with everybody, but just hasn't had those opportunities like others.
Cool. Okay, so if we continue with our kind of line from the last sector, you are all in the independent recon company or company, not part of the usual brigade setup. Major Miter commanding. And sometimes you're on the main ship, the Atlas, with the rest of the brigade, and sometimes you're on your own little cruiser off doing special missions for the brigadier herself. So that's all great. And sometimes you get to work very closely with the 17th Special Studies Group, the bunch of geeks and nerds who like aliens and the crazy stuff that they do, and sometimes like to do experiments on them, and sometimes look at troopers who've been in close contact with aliens a little bit strangely. And Jim's character, Major BD, is commanding their kind of security elements, so sometimes you've got cause to cooperate with him and his. And I think that the brigade has been, doing well. It's been tearing through sectors and slamming these aliens. And I think there's a bit of a party atmosphere aboard the ship. Everyone is happy. There was a lot of awkwardness in the last sector we played through. There was some people from another brigade aboard, and there was some strange stuff going on. But you seem to have left all that behind. Spirits are high, so I would like to see people letting them their hair a little bit before we get cracking on the mission. I think for that kind of thing, I like to start at the bottom of the chain of command. You know, not to let people be too intimidated by what their superiors are doing. So Rich, what's your squad or your platoon getting up to at Party Central?
And just some clear, Party Central on ship in space or
on ship,
on ship.
I guess on your ship, right? So you spend anytime you're not on your ship, you're basically shooting aliens on planets. So it's there's not too many other places, and I think the brigade has learned a harsh lesson or two going to these holiday worlds, because they always turn
Yeah,
out to be
I went
real
to a
bad.
holiday world. I remember the holiday world. It was not very holiday.
Yeah.
It's not Holiday Road. Yeah, I think it probably starts like playing it. Probably starts. There's a guy who has. We don't call it toilet wine, but we're not sure how he ferments it. So that, which is pretty good. So guys are starting to get a little bit drunk, a little looser with having fun, and it is a, what the higher ups don't know, don't hurt them. We're still in fighting shape. Totally. But yeah, drunk, playing a lot of poker. Maybe there's some fraternization that's not exactly above board.
But you could all be dead tomorrow, so that's all in the right go. Who are we hanging out with? Like, is there a buddy or two in the squad who you're real tight with? You're muted, Rich.
There was someone who he was good buddies with, and I can't for the life of me remember who that character was, what her name was. They like played pranks and stuff, if I remember correctly, but I just can't remember who it was. So she's dead, turns out. So 81st squad, we don't have any folks defined. Man, it's amazing how many platoons you've had. Let's go random name generator. Help me behind the name. Yeah, this name's bizarre. So this is Oriole Claudia, and I think we just call them Oreo. So
Sure.
Oreo and I hang out. Yeah, Oreo and I are having a good time, getting drunk, and maybe playing the game of will this fit in the airlock?
Or can we shoot this thing without setting off any alarms on board, right?
Yes, those are both good games. Good games.
Because playing with dangerous things, is what you do every day.
But we are trained on ordinances, so this is just a thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so they're, saying, I mean, I've heard a lot of things about the higher ups in this place. I'm not. I mean, I'm good for the job, but I hear lots of crazy rumors, right? Like the things they've seen, the things they've done. how many aliens have gotten inside the ship. I mean, I'm worried, man. I'm worried. First time in a long time, I'm worried.
Oh, yeah. Of course, Oreo. You should be worried. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, man?
I mean, you think the LT will give me a? I mean, I could be sick.
You want to go AWOL on one of the vacation planets we stopped off on?
Oh no! I mean,
Exactly.
I just blow my own brains out. Save them
Exactly. You
work.
might as well. Exactly.
Yeah.
We're in it for the long haul, brother.
Okay, well, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I better tell my folks never to go to one of those places. Right.
Surprised you haven't already, Oreo.
Yeah, I forgot. I kind of maybe I suppressed that memory. It's harsh, man. And they always seem to be like shapeshifters, right? It's like everything is normal, but it's not.
They're hot until you get your pants at your ankles.
Yeah, well, what can I say? Just that one time.
It's fine, man. We've all been there.
Okay, well, maybe I don't know. Do you think we could get into trouble? Get put in the brig?
For what? They don't have much room left.
Yeah. Okay, well, when I don't get back, you're going to feel real guilty.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Oh well. I guess I'll just have to. I know what I'll do. I'll stand right behind the LT and he'll kill everything, right?
If you stay on the non-business end of LT's ordinance, you will be fine.
Okay. Speaking of the LT, how's that paperwork going?
Don't understand why I have to count everything I killed. I mean, it's dead. It ain't coming back. Can you believe they're making me count rounds of ammunition expended now?
I think your aide de camp who used to be, I can't remember his name, Akagi, I think her name, kind of nods because of course they get you to count the ammunition, but I'm not going to say that to a lieutenant. I want to get my head bitten off for saying something obviously true, but not to your liking. So yeah, she just nods and kind of gives you a sympathetic grin because hey, that sucks.
When I signed up for this, well, when I was volunteered for this, I should say, I never thought I'd be counting bullets.
I mean, sir, you did at some stage have to load them, right? Or did you go straight to e-cannon?
They gave me a rifle at one point. Then they kicked me up to getting an e-cannon, and the next thing I knew, me and Betsy were almost married. Probably about as close as I'll ever get.
I'm sure there's some who in the company say that you were born with Betsy in your hand, sir.
Nakagi, come on. You as long as there's no other officers around, you don't have to do that sir nonsense.
Yes, sir.
Nakagi.
Sure.
You can call me Dietrich.
Dietrich.
We've been through enough for you to know that by now. I know it's reflex. I know you got to do it with everybody else, but don't stand on ceremony around me. It's like putting a hat on a pig.
And she almost says yes, sir. Any news on the next planet, Dietrich?
None that I've heard yet, but keep your guns cleaned, your boots ready to go. Any gear you want to have on your, hell, I almost said anything you want to have with you when you die, but as long as you stand behind me, that's unlikely. So, yeah, just keep your gear ready. We'll be dropping soon, I reckon.
Okay, well, there you go. So, yeah, let's go up to Major Miter. So I think, you are CEO of our company, and you're getting orders through from the gate. And yeah, it looks like you've lost contact with a listening post from a previously cleared planet.
Which planet?
Oh, so not one that ye have done before, a new planet called Yeats. I've moved on from, the list of painters, and this sector I'm using Irish painters, right? Because that's my prerogative as GM to pick a list. So yeah, this place was cleared by the brigade kind of 3 months ago in a sweep, and it's doing some scanning and then some navigational beacon stuff, and yeah, it's been all good till recently. And they sent in a maintenance team, and obviously the maintenance team haven't checked in, so that's when you get the call.
Sounds good. What was there when it was cleared? What was it cleared of?
It was cleared of kind of giant earthworms. Yeah, so not quite like dune-sized Shai-Hulud, right? But pretty big. And they would dig through the earth, but they didn't really leave much tunneling. Like the company that cleared us, got buried a few times from following them in, but eventually they had to, salt the earth to bring them up to the surface and then just clear them out. So yeah, not too troublesome in the end.
So maybe something else was hiding, or something new has moved in. We'll have to go.
Yeah,
find out.
That's for you to find out, I guess.
Yep.
In terms of the surface area, kind of hilly, mountainy, forested area, not too unpleasant, like fairly temperate.
Right. Sounds good.
So yeah, so as usual for this kind of thing, you can come up with your own mission order or your own drop zones. You're not going to be fed anything from higher up because you get to make those decisions now as major. So we can leave the we can fill in some details that you would have gotten the briefing pack for anything when we hit the missions. But yeah, let's see Miter give some kind of a briefing.
What was the name of this planet again?
Yeats.
Yeats. Have we actually entered the system now at this point when we're going to be doing the briefing?
Yeah. So it's the usual. I think you're in your cruiser, right? You're sent off because the brigade has bigger jobs to do, and so you're getting out of your couch after the jump, and everything seems pretty self-explanatory in terms like the scan of the planet goes fine and everything seems to be there, and like you can kind of zoom in, right, to see the beacons, and they're just not operational. There's like the equivalent of a Corvette in orbit, which had not even a Corvette, more like a tugboat, right, for the techies to arrive in. So that's just derelict.
Right. So they were sent to get everything working again, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Were there people? What was the size of the population that was like left here to maintain? Was it just equipment that was running automatically?
I mean, I would say, I mean, maybe that's a question to open up to Rich and Puckett. Do you think like listening posts are just automated and they're just set down on planet and you just move on and leave them, or might there be people operating those like a skeleton crew or whatever?
I mean, I wouldn't know anything official, but I've heard that it's a pretty cush assignment you can get stuck back on a listing post.
So like a couple of technicians and maybe a trooper.
Yeah.
Something,
Trooper who's sucked up just right.
Or in this case, not quite right enough.
Yeah, or who just hasn't quite screwed up bad enough to get completely tossed, but you don't actually trust to be at your back in an actual combat situation. So it's a safe place to stow them.
Yeah.
Life goals.
What happens to you when you use a weakness as a trooper? You can't get demoted, but let's send you to some listening post in the arse end of nowhere.
Yeah, babysit some technicians for the rest of your career. Yeah.
So I guess maybe the crew that was sent in to repair it would be a little bit stronger than that, maybe half a dozen, and maybe like 3 or 4 troopers with a corporal just in case, right? And again, that's usually babysitting duty, right?
Right, because the assumption is that there was probably just some piece of equipment that they couldn't fabricate on there. They needed a little tech support, but that was.
In reality, technical problems are 99%, but
that's
in a game, 100% it's an alien that's come and kill them all, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I think if everything looks like it's still in place, we're probably going to try to drop as close to the actual facility as possible, and just surprise whatever's there.
Okay. So sounds like you want to use your drop pods, right, to get the drop on whatever's there, and then maybe call down the
APC,
the APC
or the
drop ship for later. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's set this up. Yeah, so like I described, this kind of pretty verdant highland forest, maybe maybe a lot of undergrowth, a big mix of types of trees, pretty natural, except in the circle around each of the listening posts or setups, there's like a 50-yard cleared area just for extra paranoia. Okay, so let me set up some alien tokens. So yeah, when you're using drop pods, you just ambush them, right? And you decide the range.
Near.
Here. And then you're going to do your, you don't need to roll to hit because it's an ambush. You're just going to do kills. But there's 2 tokens and there's 3 of you. So this is not a FA check. This is just a straight D10 roll. And whoever, the 2 of you who get highest get to kill a token. So yeah, let me describe what you see in that initial drop. I think when you're dropping out in these pods, you can kind of see some upraised faces looking at you right before you land. Like these are definitely humanoid aliens. And then when you storm out of the drop pods, you can see they are gigantic apes, right? And I don't know if any of you were around for Titian. You definitely found these relatively peaceful apes who intelligence had said, hey, these guys might be uplifted, so we should get rid of them before that happens. They don't look really any different from back then. So yeah, why don't you roll your D10 and see who gets to go first and second, and then we can. Your luck is not with you tonight, Rich. Okay, let's start with Dietrich. So you're rolling your kills for near range with Betsy.
That's 21.
Okay, so why don't you tell us what that looks like?
As usual, I'm probably first out of the drop ship. Gun up, gun blazing. This is when I am happiest. Moments like this are what reminds me that life is a joy. Killing bugs. And they splatter real nice. It's messy, but it's kind of pretty too. Like some kind of painting or something like that.
And yeah, they are not shooting back. They are not doing anything except running for cover. But nothing in this forest is cover enough against Betsy. How about Miter? You're similar to, but somehow distinct E-cannon.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty familiar. Miter and Dietrich have done the 1-2 E-cannon punch before, so I think Terry knows kind of where to position himself to where all the where Dietrich's fire is gonna herd them into, and he's just waiting there to hit him in the crossfire.
Okay, cool. I think at the back of the ranks, Oreo is like next to Frost, and she says like, I guess stand behind the officers with their mega weapons has one advantage, but we don't get that much fun, huh?
I'm sure we'll get lots of fun cleanup duty.
That's true. Maybe these technicians had a beer inside this shack, whatever's left of it.
Beer.
So yeah, what's the setup, or what's the plan from here?
Well, we gotta sweep through this facility, see if we can find any sign of what happened to the occupants. If they left us any kind of record or information of what's going on.
Yeah. So inside the kind of listening post, I mean, you can see signs that these apes have been living here, right? But what's kind of curious is that, it's not like the technical equipment has been smashed or anything like that. Like, there's definitely, I mean, maybe you're reading too much into it, but it looks like some of these guys have been listening to the equipment, right?
Like the apes have been making use of it?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's completely unoccupied now.
Well, yeah, they're all dead, so yeah, technically unoccupied.
And is there any sign of the people who are here?
Not really. I mean, it's probably too long has passed, but yeah, I think there's very little sign of anyone left alive.
I want to go to the logs or whatever to see what the last entry was.
Yeah, so it kind of ties in with what the mission briefing says, although maybe there's like a day when there's still an entry before, and things are obviously going wrong, and before like before everything went down, and like there's some signs that they're having trouble with technical equipment, and then there's they picked up something arriving in system, and like engine flares or whatever in the distance, and then like everything goes to hell.
Got it. I mean, there.
Do you want to think of it, and then we'll see what the rest of the crew are getting?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So Frost, what's the scuttlebutt on the sentry line?
Scuttlebutt on the sentry line. These things use tools. Tools means they might have stuff worth taking. So probably just looking around for scrap or something interesting.
I mean, frankly, beer is the original technology, right? So I want to get my brain blasted with whatever an ape would brew.
It sounds like a great idea, Oreo. Let's do it.
Maybe maybe they're living in those tunnels for these big giant earthworms that were here before, right?
Maybe so. I think that's a mighty fine idea. We should start there.
Okay, I'll get someone to cover our spot, and then let's go. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, these aliens are brewing up a terrifically strong IP ape. Puckett, how are you going to make up to us for that terrible pun?
Kill some more aliens.
Okay, sounds fair. What are you seeing here that maybe the major has missed, or that you find very interesting?
Well, I'm thinking if these apes can use tools, we need to get rid of this listening station. They might have used it to hear something or eavesdrop on us or know what our plans were, something along those lines. There might be, I don't know what all is supposed to be here, but maybe there's some tech missing. I wouldn't know what to look for. Major would know more about that than I would. But it just, it looks like apes have been in here. I won't go into too much detail, but it smells to high heaven.
Sure. Yeah, I guess there's going to be some kind of a manifest or a equipment list or something for the listening post. Techies love their tick boxes and checklists. So,
Is Akagi with me?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to turn to her and say, listen, I never did any of this stuff. I just, they put a gun in my hand. Here's the manifest. It's supposed to say what's supposed to be here and what isn't. I figure you know more than I do about what each one of these gadgets and gewgaws and whatchamacallits are. So you could do this for me. I'd be mighty grateful.
Yeah, sure. So she takes a list, and Miter, what's going on?
Well, I think I'm trying to report back that we've, secured the building and just be on the lookout. It looks like their communications got knocked out before the initial attack. So just be ready for that. And then it looks like the equipment's been used since then. So I want to see if I can't figure out what they've been, they stopped them talking to us, but were they talking to anybody or just listening? And if they were just listening, what were they listening to? Just try to.
Yeah. So I think they might have been listening to you, right? They were, instead of reporting back position and all that kind of stuff for the listening post, they were just listening to the brigade. And like there were very little transmissions sent directly here, so they were just kind of throwing a wide net out, see what kind of loose transmissions would have come through. So, obviously it's worrying, but I'm not sure it's change all your frequencies kind of stuff. Although it might be that too.
Yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
Definitely like pass on the from this time to that time, whatever communications would be compromised, just so that's known. Okay. But ultimately, really, I'm hoping for some kind of clue as to where the rest of them are, where they came from, and
sure.
where they're going.
So a couple of I think Akagi comes in, and the guys were digging a latrine, right, on some out back, and they found some dead troopers, right, still in their armor and just like kind of completely got their asses kicked, but their helmets are missing, and that's kind of noteworthy because nothing else is missing from their kit. They were all of their stuff, like their slug rifles, their armor that they were in, was all just dumped in this makeshift grave, but not their helmets.
That's I'm not sure what to make of that.
Well, let's cut to Frost, because you're working your way through a tunnel or two, and I think you see what looked like troopers ahead, right? I mean, obviously, with that reveal, we know they're like helmets on sticks or whatever. They're trophies, but for a second there, you're trying to make radio contact, or maybe Audio is trying to make radio contact with these things.
Yeah, I'll call out to him. Hey, this is Frost.
Maybe the radios are down, man. Maybe the radio's down. We'll take a closer look.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think this is a good time to foist some aliens on you. And I guess you're all in slightly different places, but it's one fight, so everything will work as normal. So let's decide on your weapon right now before we get started. What are you carrying? I mean, I know I probably don't really have to ask, but I'm asking anyway.
I mean, I guess I'm carrying. I've got an energy rifle and grenades, so
yeah. So like your primary weapon is the one you're holding right now and ready to use at a moment's notice.
Energy rifle.
Okay. And need to ask Puckett and Brian if they're sticking with their econ. Okay. And so for dominance, anyone who wants to can declare that they're going to roll.
I will roll.
Okay. Brian, you're gonna roll. Okay, and Rich, this is a roll on non-fighting ability, so you can just say you're not rolling if you don't want to take the chance, or you can just roll anyway because you're right here facing down some aliens. Okay, well, I guess everyone is in. Okay, so we got a success. A high success is from Miter. So you get to pick range for everyone.
We'll go near them.
Okay. So everyone's at near range. And this is when, I guess, obviously Frost is kind of maybe expecting trouble, and everyone else just gets it coming out of a tunnel over here or the woods over there or whatever. They're not quite swarming you, but this is a concerted attack. And I guess the first thing that really lets you know that things are going badly is when your HUDs on your helmets, your head-up display, goes down. So I'm spending a token to use an ability, Stop Technology. prevent any technology from working. The usual trooper weapons, guns, bombs, missile will simply fail to work. Hand-to-hand attacks are unaffected by its ability and may be the trooper's only method of attack. Okay. So, what are you doing? Let's go rank order again.
I guess I am. I guess I am just dropping the e-cannon and pulling out my knife and charging towards them to take care of it hand to hand, because I don't know how long they're gonna knock everything out.
Okay, so so you can change to hand to hand for free.
Yep.
So I guess you're changing range as your action, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Puckett, how about
Yeah, because I don't. Yeah, there's no. Otherwise, I have to take a whole turn to change weapons. I think, right? And I can't also move.
Yeah, I mean the
Trying
only
to remember how this works.
Yeah, sorry. So
you get a free move if like you succeed in an attack.
Yeah, so if you if you make your FA check and you roll higher than them, then you get a free move at the end of your turn.
Yeah, but my weapon's not working
at
this range, so
exactly. So getting in close is your best bet. Okay. Puckett, how about you?
So technology does not work, correct?
Yeah. So like Betsy, like I mean, it doesn't short out, but like gives a whine as she powers down.
What about my shotgun?
Shotgun is technology, right? So it's everything basically. That is guns, bombs, missiles, everything.
Power claw?
So power claw is hand to hand, so it's going to work.
Okay, but not the flame gun.
But not the flame gun.
Okay. I am just going to switch to my power claw then.
Okay, and again, that's free. So switching to hand is free, I think, for a power claw. So
is it?
Maybe
it is, because I would do that. Then.
I'll check. Yes, power claw can automatically switch to this weapon. Yeah.
Okay.
But you're, still obviously not in range. So
yeah. Okay. Then technically, yes, I'm switching to power glove. Although they do the same damage for me, so it doesn't really matter.
Looks cooler, right? And how about Frost?
Remind me about grenades.
Grenades are still an option, right?
Yeah, remind me about grenades. They're still an option. They work in what?
Are grenades still working?
Yeah. I think we had the discussion last time this came up. I can't remember. Do they count as bombs? Are they technology? I don't know.
They also need to be upgraded to work at near range, I think.
No, they do one.
But they do one.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, if I use grenades, I'm tossing grenades on these suckers.
Yeah, I would do that too and try to get the free movement to close.
Yeah, I can't remember what we decided last time.
Well, what do you want?
It says the usual trooper weapons, guns, bombs, and missiles will simply fail to work. So, I mean, grenades are little bombs. So maybe it's just it's fisticuffs and such like that.
Yeah, I mean, if a shotgun's not going to work, I don't see why.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that was my thought.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Then I'm closing in to going into close range, switching to hand to hand.
Okay. So I guess everyone should make an NFA check, and this is not to determine whether you do change range, but the whether you get killed on the way, right? Okay, so I'm not seeing in your roll pocket if that is a success or not. I'm not sure if you've changed the macro or is that
It
a
is
success for?
success.
It's
Sorry?
a 9. If that's
Yeah,
a
my-
success on non-fighting, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, well, I've got 10 on fighting and 8 on
Okay,
anything.
okay.
So
So
it's not it's fail, it's miss.
So Miter gets a success that is higher than the aliens, so moves and doesn't get hurt. Why don't you describe how that looks?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if you succeed before.
Yeah, so
the-
you're not getting killed because your roll was higher than theirs, and a success.
But I could cancel my own success so that everyone yet to act
Yes.
now fails. I think I will do that because that was a pretty bad round. It was basically as bad as that round could go,
Okay. Yeah.
and
So-
have the option of doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I see this going bad. Instead, I just yell at everyone to like hit the deck
Okay.
and avoid whatever their trap they were luring us into.
Okay. Cool. So this is a rule that we see sometimes, but not very often, and it's worth reminding everyone what it does. So in your turn, instead of taking your action, you can not take any action and cancel everyone below you. So everyone who didn't succeed or everyone who got a success but rolled a lower number than you. And that's good in this situation where you can basically save a bunch of your people from getting hurt. So not a bad way to go in this case. The aliens have done it a couple of times, most famously to avoid a orbital bombardment, which definitely helped them. So yeah, cool. Thanks. Nice move, Brian. Okay. So yeah, and I think everyone. Yeah, I think the aliens are waiting for you, right? And they are primed for it, and then like people don't charge in, and it's a little bit of a tense standoff.
Were there some kind of traps or something? Some kind of like tripwire or hidden pits we were going to fall into, or like what?
I think they were just like going to draw you into close range and kill you all. I think it wasn't like a
particular part of the battlefield they wanted us on that they were planning on kind of.
They were planning on kicking your ass, yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to see what this looks like for everyone. Rich, what does for your Frost hears the orders from Miter, telling them not to advance. What does that look like?
We're down in, if I remember, Oreo and I kind of stuck down to the tunnels. We're seeing up ahead these guys with helmets on. It's getting more and more tense. We could hear the music in the background, and then Miter's order comes in, and I'm like, "Hey, come on! Let's pull back. Let's pull back."
I think Oreo is like maybe backing away with you, pointing the gun at these helmets, and just not really sure what's going on, but kind of trusting you as you draw the pair of you out of these tunnels and back to safety. How about Dietrich?
Can I kill him yet? Are they at near range? Or do I need to move in?
So what Brian has done mechanically is cancel your action, right? So you're just holding and not advancing.
Okay. Then I'm just going to stand at the ready with my power claw. Like, I'm assuming that it looks a little bit like, Wolverine's blades coming out of his knuckles, except it's like, attached to my wrist. So, simple mechanical thing. Kind of grab that lever, squeeze in, claws come out, And I was standing there with that thing up, like, not quite a classic boxing stance,
Yeah, yeah.
but very much a I will stab you in the face stance.
Okay, so yeah, and at the end of the combat round, stop technology works for one combat round, right? So now you can hear the whine of all those things powering up, or you can hear the loading chamber click click for your weapons. So yeah, it's
Once they've done that, they can't do it again for the combat round, can they?
of course they can. They can spend as many tokens as they want.
Gotcha.
It doesn't specify once per encounter. So yeah, the aliens can hit you whenever they feel like it. I mean, the token economy and all that aside. So what do you do? So just to clarify, right? So you were your action was to move, not to change, and no one was changing weapons as their action. So you still, I mean, obviously you were prepared to go for the knife or whatever it is, but you still have your primary weapon ready, loaded for bear. So it's not quite as bad as it could have been. So yeah, yeah. So what are people doing? Shooting, right?
Yeah, the weapons are powering back on.
Yeah.
So anyone gonna recite the holy words and say "Let's rock"?
Yeah. Frack this stuff. Light them up, Oreo.
Yeah. And I think, right, you see, so these are like the same apes as you saw when you initially landed, but these guys have it's like full kind of fist to elbow gauntlets that are powering up with this blue light. So yeah, they're going to be zapping you with these things as they advance. And you obviously didn't want to come in to play with them, so they're coming out to play with you. So they're charging you, and they're shooting their kind of forearm cannons at you. So yeah, let's shoot. Okay, that's what we're talking about. That's more like it. Okay, so high success. Everyone rolls successes. High success is Dietrich with a 9. So why don't you roll your kills and then see how that goes. Oof.
Seriously?
Betsy
you
warming up. Betsy is warming up.
She must be on the fritz from them saying I can't do nothing with my technology.
I don't know. I think it is a case of, maybe it's like a like a coffee machine after you turn it on. It's a bit spluttery right before it gets warmed up. 7. Yeah, that's like a mere mortal kill count. Rich, roll your kills for Frost.
All right.
Hey, same as Dietrich.
Okay, cool. And I'll mention it to you, although I needn't mention it to Puckett. You rolled a success higher than the aliens on your fighting ability, so you can change range if you wanted to.
I'm good to stick in near.
Yeah. And that is another token gone. And Brian, you rolled a 3, as did the alien, so they kill you and you kill them. So that would put you down to a mess, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, 27. That's another serious amount of kills. What does that look like? You know, they're coming out and they're shooting at everyone, and like I think they are taking out a few troopers as well, just in the firing line, just because there's you know, quite a few of them, and you're maybe a little bit out of position, but you know, falling back to your cover.
I
in pretty sharp
definitely
order.
left myself exposed, you know, getting out in front and getting everyone to stop last round behind me. And then, yeah, just staying in the line of fire a little too much in order to try to suppress them with the E-cannon. And
Yeah, cool. Okay. So, final. Well, I suspect it'll be final round. There's only one token left in this encounter. Everyone is shooting. Okay. Okay. Let's. Okay. The aliens got a 9, which is a success. You all roll successes, but it's going to kill you all anyway. Yeah, so I think there's not that many of them left, but they've kind of enfiladed your position, right? A couple of them have erupted out of another one of these earthworm tunnels, and they like these up close. These you know, these forearm cannons are pretty powerful, and yeah, they tear through your armor, really affecting you. So yeah, everyone takes a kill.
Oh, sorry. Say again, Donna. Everyone takes a what?
Everyone takes a kill. So if
Okay.
you were previously fine, you're now a mess. If you were a mess, you're now crippled.
Yeah, just making sure I understood.
Yeah. And usually this is about the time where I say, you know, it's always worth taking the first hit on yourself, because you heal 1 level in between every encounter. So, you know, being a mess is not really a long-term problem. Like as soon as you get rid of this token, you'll go back up. And after that, it might be worth taking it on your armor. But I will say, because we're in the second round, these aliens have 2 abilities, and their second alien ability is ignore armor. So your armor will not help you at all on this planet. Not your Mandelbrite armor, not your fancy major force field armor. It's all going straight to flesh. But you don't need to worry about that quite yet. You're still in pretty good nick. Okay, so
How do we reset combat drugs?
You get to use combat drugs once per planet.
Okay.
And you get to use it to re-roll your fighting ability.
Okay, so it resets on every planet. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. And just the proviso is that if you roll a 10, when you use your combat drugs, you do a kill to yourself. That can't be taken on armor. Okay. So yeah, just holler, like if you don't like your roll, or if it gets onto the wire, you can always kick in. So we got Dietrich with a 4, Frost with a 1, and Miter with a 6. Okay. So you get the final token, and you roll your kills. Okay, 39 for Miter. Okay. So yeah, what does that look like? I mean, you're driving them off. They're not like fighting to death or anything, but they are definitely taking a lot of losses here.
Yeah, I think Miter just saw that like this was the last of them, and so rather than try to fall back at all, he just stood there and took their shots to wipe out the last of them.
Okay, cool. And how about Dietrich and Frost? What's the? I mean, like maybe there's a bit of wiping up and just making sure that things are still clear, and maybe double checking those tunnels to make sure nothing's lurking in there. But the fight is over for now. Frost, what are you and Oreo up to?
I kind of see, because I end up being a mess in this round, that Frost and Oreo, it feels like we've knocked them all down, and at one point we're closing in and kick a body, and one of the ape simian things like reaches up his claws at his gut, and he ends up maybe the cartridge on his energy rifle is messed up, so he grabs one of the helmets that they'd stolen and beats the thing until it finally lets go, and he's pretty messed up.
Yeah, cool. How about? Oh, sorry. Let me give you a little tidbit for that. Killing a guy with one of your dead troopers' helmet is worth bonus points in my book. Maybe you're looking inside it and you can kind of see there's like an IFF, like microchip that's in there, and it's like a highlighted area because it's always something that gets looked at for inspection, and you notice it's missing. So when they put on, when they set up this helmet, to be like a trophy, they had taken out the IFF chip. So there's some aliens out there with your IFF chips.
Okay. You see this, Oreo? They snagged our IFFs. They know about this stuff. They can shut down our power. Even our
that means like
freaking shotguns.
That means they'll show up as us when our HUDs are working.
Yeah.
That's no fun. I want to be in the brig.
You should have drank more toilet wine.
Sick bay would have been more fun.
Yeah.
And how about Dietrich?
I'm staring at Betsy, and I'm confused. And I'm wondering if she is okay. Because this is uncharacteristic for Betsy. Betsy loves to kill maybe more than I do. So I'm wondering if she's sick. I mean, sick in the spirit, maybe. I mean, Betsy, I know it's silly and all, but I think Betsy and I have grown rather close, and she has developed a personality of her own, and I just want to make sure she's okay. So I need to sit down and spend some quality time cleaning everything up, making sure everything's in proper working condition.
Yeah, and I think there's no real sign of anything wrong with her. It's like everything is working fine from your point of view right now, but not the first time Betsy is conked out in the middle of a fight or started to act more like a energy rifle than an e-cannon. So yeah, maybe it's an existential crisis in some ways, right?
Maybe it's just those damn dirty apes.
Those damn dirty apes. Okay, so just looking at time, and we've done 2 encounters. We take a break, say 10 minutes. So, I mean, let's say past, right? Just to give us a round number, give us time for coffee.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So we're back. Yeah, so I guess you have some extra information now about what these apes are doing. They've stolen the ID, the IFFs from those trooper helmets from the previous handful of troopers that were on planet. Whatever could they be doing with those? maybe that's how they're affecting your equipment, or maybe they've got something a little bit more nefarious planned. Yeah, so I guess do you think Frost is keeping that under his hat, or once this is between the two of you, it's no longer a secret, right?
Yeah, this is not a thing that Frost would keep secret. There's no advantage to it. There's only disadvantages. So he'll probably head up the line, and just double checking. We got a major and sergeant, so he go talk to Dietrich. Not sure where you find him.
I mean, not quite crying over his gun, but as close as makes no difference, I think. Where exactly does Trooper Frost find Lieutenant Dietrich, or Lieutenant Dietrich? Yeah.
I am staring quizzically at my gun because I want to know what the hell happened.
Lieutenant,
Frost,
hey, we recovered some of the helmets. The IFFs have been stolen. The way these guys were able to mess with our tech, I wonder if they're going to try to appear like friendly. Also, we killed a bunch of them.
I am glad to hear that you sent a bunch of them onto their, well, whatever the hell you sent them on to. Good job, Frost.
Thanks, LT.
This other thing, Frost, by now, how many times do I have to tell you? You don't have to stand on ceremony with me. You've killed enough bugs with me. You only got to worry about that, somebody else is around who might might get upset about it. Like the major. So you think they're trying to show up as friendlies, huh?
Well, with the IFFs, they could. And we almost, Oreo and I, she killed a bunch too, by the way. Dietrich, and we saw some, they were wearing the helmets, but the IFFs were gone. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't even the apes. Maybe it's somebody else.
Even so, we should tell the major. Get everybody aware of it. So where do we find the major?
Well, I got more injured than everyone else, so I'm probably getting treated for patched up.
Yeah, so everyone who was a mess in the last encounter, you're back to good, and Miter was crippled, right, in that last exchange, so he's back up to being a mess.
Major, we may have a problem.
Oh?
Frost here. Frost, you're the one who found it out. You tell the major. You deserve
Sir.
credit for this.
Thank you. You start to say LT and then just says thank you. Major fires off a crisp salute. Oreo and I, we were down in the tunnels trying to find out where stuff had gone. We ran into some of those apes and I grabbed one of their helmets, our helmets. IFF's gone. We checked all the corpses. The IFF's been pulled out of the helmets. I don't know how many we lost and how many might still be out there, but they could look like us, sir. Or if maybe there's some other group that took it, I don't know.
Right. Great. Well, they're already messing with our tech. We can't rely on it. Wonder if we can just shut all the IFFs off for now, so they're not. Can't rely on them. They're just going to be a distraction. Yeah, can I work out some way to just like shut that function off for everyone? So we're just.
Yeah, I think this is definitely not the kind of thing that needs that without taking a knife to it is what they want. Troopers being able to turn off at their slightest whim. So this is definitely a command override kind of thing. This sounds like non-fighting ability, right? It's something else.
Sure.
So yeah, make a check, and okay, that's pretty high success, right? So yeah, I think it's something. Maybe you got to open the manual, right, to figure out how to do this, because this is something they probably don't mention in training. How to turn off those IFFs. Yeah. So yeah, I think there's like a sub menu inside a sub menu, like 15 levels down, and you have this open box, and it's like
yes,
untick
yes,
IFF. And are you sure? Do you want to cancel? Really?
Is there like an animated icon that's a clip of bullets, but it's called Clippy?
Yeah.
It seems like you're turning off the IFF. Would you like some help?
Actually, I think the UI is like, do you want to cancel IFFs for your company? And then you click that button, and then the options are cancel, okay, and you're not quite sure if you click cancel, you're canceling the request to cancel, or you're canceling them for sure. And you gotta test for pointing your weapon at someone after you make the option. Okay, he's not showing up as friendly, so it must be off for sure. Yeah, but I think Clippy, Clippy is shaped like a magazine, right? Because that's a clip. Yeah, right. So Clippy asks you, it looks like you're trying to turn off IFF. 9 out of 10 people who do this end up dead. But sure, you go first. I mean, it's a good job this isn't done with the whole brigade, because the level of fragging that lieutenants would get after this would be something spectacular. Okay, yeah. So everyone's got their IFFs turned off, and your HUDs are just ignoring that now, and it's all good, right? I think it's a little bit scary, right? Because normally it's very difficult to shoot your own people, even when you're putting, thousands of rounds or an E-cannon down range. What does what's the conversation down with the troopers like for this Frost? It's is this just another thing to joke about, or is this like deadly serious?
Like most things, there would be a mix, but Frost has been at this long enough to where it's a joke to him. I mean, now when we get shot in the back, at least we know that it was done with love, right, Oreo?
Yeah, I mean, the value of your shares can go down as well as up, right? No, maybe someone did it by accident. That's what I'm afraid of. I mean, I want to be shot on purpose. Yes, if some trooper decides they don't like me, I'm gonna shoot him. I mean, I want him to shoot me in the face or in the back, just on purpose.
Exactly.
And yeah, but I'm definitely thinking I should, pissed in the Major's tea or something, because the brig would be more fun than this. Maybe if we mess up, we can get sent to a quiet listening post. What do you think, Frost? A cushy number like this. After we kill all the apes, right? They're going to need to set this back up, right?
Yeah, let's just have them nuke the place this time from orbit, and then we'll come sit on the rubble
Okay, yeah,
and get irradiated.
I mean, I'll take my rad pills, right? That's what
Yeah.
they're for. All those terrible side effects have got to come with some good effects, right?
Sure.
So, Major Miter, what is the plan?
Well, I mean, I was going to bring in a vehicle to go then search out the rest of these, but if they can shut our tech down at any time, I think we're back to hoofing it everywhere. We just gotta track them down.
You know, like the APC, that would be a problem, but you know, a survivable problem. Whereas the dropship becomes definitely a problem. So yeah, good old fashioned boots on the ground. That's what I like to hear. So I guess, you know, in terms of tracking them down, like, you know, obviously some of them got away, right? And the main function of getting away is so that you can lead your enemy back, either to a trap or to their base, right? So either one will do. Or I guess it depends on the encounter roll, right? The dominance check. So is this a sweep and clear or something a bit more specific?
I mean, I think we want to be, you know, because we've got our tech being able to be shut off and the IFF's off. We're somewhat kind of forming together into some kind of formation, and just we're gonna move until we can find the rest of them.
Yeah, I guess no big flanking movements where you could end up shooting at each other for real. You know, so keep everyone in line and just keep everyone in line of sight. Okay, so I like to imagine that this kind of thing takes hours of tedium and boredom, and you know, sooner or later, you know, there's going to be a false alarm, and then people will relax, and someone will say, "Stay frosty," and Trooper Frost's ears will perk up, and it's all fun and games till things get serious, right? So yeah, let's roll for dominance. Everyone keeping their traditional weapon at the ready. Okay. So who wants to roll? Everyone again?
I'll roll.
Or okay. I assume Miter is rolling. How about Frost? Rolling for dominance?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
I've been very lucky.
Okay. So everyone succeeds, including the alien. The alien's rolled a 9, which is a success, which is the highest success. So yeah, they are going to they're gonna put you out at far range. So I think while previously, right, these their kind of wrist cannons have been kind of in close sluggers, they're obviously not really that restricted. They can pack a blast at long range as well. So yeah, you're rolling through these forested hills, and then, you know, from way up top of a peak nearby, you know, I think you see a kind of a blue glint, a line across the ridge, and that's I think a firing line that is opening up on you from far range. Okay, so everyone's shooting.
Can I call in an orbital bombardment?
You are not the commanding officer. So highest rank only is orbital bombardment, as far as
Okay.
I'm aware.
Because it says it's on the lieutenant ability, so I didn't know. if
Yeah,
that-
so that's because at some stage the lieutenant will be the highest ranking right early on, but it is. Let me double check, just so I don't shortchange you.
It doesn't say.
Yeah,
It just says PC must be an officer rank 3 and above.
yeah, I am. It's evac, which is highest ranking only, and it specifically mentions that when a PC dies, it'll be up to the next highest rank alive to call the evac next turn. But yes, lieutenants and over, right? Definitely a thing. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you can certainly do that. You can say that's what you're doing.
I am calling in an orbital bombardment.
Okay. So that is when it happens. That will be an NFA check. Okay. So, Miter, what are you doing?
I guess I'm just shooting them.
Okay. And Frost.
Yeah. Only good bug's a dead bug. I'm shooting.
Okay. And the aliens are attempting to kill you. So let's make those rolls. Okay, where you go? Dietrich goes first with a success. So you're just hoping for a demotion, aren't you, Puppet?
Why is that?
There'll be a court-martial at the end of an orbital bombardment to see if it was justified, but that's fine. So orbital bombardment inflicts a kill on PCs. Which means you're kind of fine, right? I mean, you're a mess.
This we can use our armor on, right?
No, orbital bombardment ignores any armor.
Okay.
But no one's already crippled, so it's not like it's going to kill someone. You can use a strength or weakness to avoid the damage. Obviously, you can use strengths and weaknesses to gazump this. So you can use a strength to gazump it if you wanted. As per normal, right, you can just use a strength and swoop in. Yeah. So I presume no one is doing that. No, you're just leaving it ride. Okay. So Puckett, why don't you roll D1000 for your kills? You might have to do this the old-fashioned way, which is let me remind myself of how you roll normally. So it's /roll space and then whatever your dice total is. So why don't you
297 kills.
297 kills. So that pretty much takes care of that, right? Why don't you describe exactly how this happens and how it looks?
Well, we're moving through terrain. And we're all in a straight line. I catch a glimpse up ahead of something. And I know that ain't right. So I kind of beckon to my left to just like hold position, kind of tell him to pass it down the line, do the same to my right, hunker down, get on the radio. The next thing you know, prettiest thing you're ever going to see in your life, fire from the heavens raining down on our enemies. It is absolutely goddamn beautiful. Glorious even. And I mean, they're on fire and they're running around and they're screaming and stuff. But it doesn't last too long because like the ones who survived the initial explosions, they go down pretty quick. But
Well,
it clears out the rest of that jungle, I tell you.
Well, I mean, it does more than that, right? It clears, every inhabited inch of the planet, right? And it pretty much, it probably kills some troopers, right? It certainly brings the Major to the brink of death. It's causing havoc all over the place.
But it's pretty.
How does this feel to Miter?
I mean, to Miter, the coming fight was up in the air. I mean, it definitely may have been called for, but like they didn't. These aren't natives this time. They came in from out of system, and he was hoping to find out more information about where they came from, not just burn the whole surface of the planet. yes, maybe Miter will.
I mean,
be right.
You said grenades were right out, or to be used in exactly these circumstances. I mean, this seems like an outside context problem in terms of those regulations, right? Maybe Miter took it for granted. If you were, not happy with people checking grenades, what's an orbital bombardment between friends, right? How about Frost and the other troopers?
Frost, the other troopers, we hunker down. It's ugly. Thank God we didn't take our helmets off because it's pretty much a mess. But I think Frost and Oreo are chuckling about, we totally need to apply for sentry duty here now. This is exactly what we wanted, right? Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like they heard us, right? We were talking about just nuking the place to raise it to the ground so that we had somewhere safe to hole up, and the LT has pulled this out of the bag for us. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Guess we don't have to worry about who our friends are anymore. Those IFF tags, problem solved.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing about orbital bombardments. They do not care about IFF, regardless, right? But yeah, I think there's probably a general disquiet in the upper ranks that this is the first time that you've probably really got a sense that someone put aliens here to take out the brigade or to cause harm to the brigade, and now you've no evidence, right? Everything is just sub-smithereens is the technical term, right? So yeah, I think people are bruised and bloody, and like the aliens are just wiped. Right? So I'm sure. Yeah. So just to confirm with you, right? The rules for orbital bombardment is blah blah blah. Yeah, kill all aliens on the planet, right? So not just in the encounter, not just these 5 tokens that are in front of you, but the other 6 tokens that are in the bank. Everything's gone. Every single alien on this planet destroyed. So yeah, it's I think everyone's ears are ringing, right? I think people's teeth have come loose a little bit in this bombardment. There's like dust in the air when you do crack open the helmet visor to have a smoke. And yeah, that's definitely the taste of Yeats's dirt is going to be in your gullet for a while. So
I wander around clapping some of the soldiers who are smoking, saying, "Yes, inhale that monkey dust."
So yeah, what's I guess there's a dropship ride up to get back to base, back to the cruiser. So yeah, at the end of a mission, usually we would count kills, right? And whoever has the most kills gets an advance. But Major Miter and Lieutenant Dietrich are both maxed out. They're both at 18 total. So that means Frost gets his advance, free and gratis. Thank you very much.
First advance. I think. Oh,
second. Yeah. So you're at 11. So you usually start at 10. So yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So bump one of those by 1. And that also means that you unlock, I think, another weakness.
Oh, nice.
So you're moving up in the world. Okay. So nobody uses strength or weakness. So there's no promotions or demotions. But there is a investigation into the orbital bombardment. So after the mission, more senior officers will grill the character on why they called in the orbital bombardment. A test of NFA must be successful to avoid demotion of 1 rank. It's not possible for the officer who called in the strike to be promoted for this mission. Okay. So, Rich, how do you want to play for this short scene? I don't know, like the lieutenant colonel or maybe even the brigadier for this, what is essentially a court martial.
I can give it a shot.
Chew up some scenery, right? Or however you want, right? So yeah, in like the lower decks are kind of happy, right? They probably lost less people in that orbital bombardment than they would have in a couple of stand-up fights. But they're a little bit unsure. Maybe the jury is divided. But yeah, I think the higher ranks certainly want to give this new lieutenant a bit of a grilling. So yeah, it's like senior officers, everyone, like maybe I imagine that Miter and Dietrich are the lowest ranked people here, right? So it's definitely people with eagles and up on their lapels. Yeah, so I think let's hear. Do we want to get like an opening statement from Miter as the commanding officer on planet as to exactly what happened?
Well, we were we encountered alien threat. They maneuvered us to long range. In previous encounters, they had abilities to disable our technology, and we had a pretty tough fight ahead of us. Our IFFs I had disabled because the aliens had acquired some IFF chips from the previous troopers they encountered, and it was unclear what their intentions were. As I said, they already were interfering with our technology, and the lieutenant made the call to call in a orbital bombardment. It's unclear if that resulted in fewer casualties on our side. Could make the case. Did unfortunately destroy any evidence of where these aliens came from or what technology they were using to interfere with us.
So, Rich, do you want to put your spoke in, or do you want to need to cross-examine for a moment?
Yeah, he has I have a potential opening statement, but if you want to cross-examine the major, I think that sounds good.
So Major, if your unit was in Pearl so much, why didn't you call in this orbital bombardment?
I had that would be necessary was certainly potential I considered, but at that point I was still determined to try to fight it out.
And what do you think the likelihood is of us discovering exactly what these aliens are up to without the evidence that we would doubtless have recovered from their corpses and equipment?
Well, I imagine that's not the last of them. I'm sure they'll pop up somewhere, and we'll follow them from there.
You're the commander of a recon company, correct, Major?
Yes, sir.
Seems to me that finding out exactly what our enemy is up to is like your number one duty when you're on mission.
Well, my mission was to find out what was happening on Yeats, and that much at least that mission was completed.
So in retrospect, would you say Lieutenant Dietrich was justified in calling in orbital bombardment?
Well, I guess I would need my crystal ball to see what would have happened if we had fought it out straight to really know.
Well, let's put it a different way. Were you going to call in an orbital bombardment? With your regular, regular ball.
Not at that time, no.
Not at that time. And how many troopers died in the orbital bombardment? I mean, pick a number, right?
I don't even know how many troopers were down there.
So I guess usually like a company might be like, I don't know, 100 guys, right? So
Right.
Obviously it's not going to be like a majority or whatever, but so a handful, I guess. Whatever seems.
A dozen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think I'm done with Major Miter for now. Commander, do you want to step in?
Miter, what's your plan to ensure that this loss of recon doesn't happen again?
I've begun drafting more detailed guidelines for the field manual on the use of orbital bombardment.
Any plans on restricting the access to that kind of call to make, Major?
These decisions, a lot of times there's not a lot of time. If we can't trust our officers to make that call, then we need different officers, not different regs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with you there.
I think that is what's called throwing your guy under a bus, right?
I didn't say he made the wrong call.
No. Do you have anything more to hit Miter with, or will we switch over to Dietrich?
I think switch. That's the setup that the commander was looking for. Is you gotta eat this, or you gotta point the finger somewhere, and I think we got that answer.
Yeah. So do you wanna go first on Dietrich, or will I?
Lieutenant Dietrich, what exactly was going through your mind when you made the decision to call an orbital bombardment?
I observed the Major's condition, as well as the condition of other soldiers on the line. Judged that soldiers who would not survive an orbital bombardment would not have survived the encounter, but that I could save the Major and anyone else who is in similar shape. I calculated, and please do tell me if this is incorrect, that saving the life of one Major is worth the lives of several troopers. That the training and the time that you have invested in a Major is much more difficult to replace than somebody who can pick up a rifle. Furthermore, if I had not done the orbital bombardment when I did, the Major would not have survived it, and it is questionable as to whether the Major would have survived the encounter at all. He had already been seriously injured.
Now, remind me, Lieutenant, what was the primary objective for going to this area that we'd already secured but had lost? I'm trying to remember why we didn't just bomb it from orbit originally and actually sent troopers in, including yourself and the Major.
Sir, All due respect, the area was not secured. If the area was secured, the major would not have been injured as grievously as he was. So I can say from experience on the ground, the area was not, in fact, secured. The aliens had taken control of our technology. They had disabled our technology. They had taken IFF chips, causing the major to have to deactivate all of our IFF systems. These aliens were a grave threat. It is my understanding that as a lieutenant, my job is to ensure that no aliens survive on a planet. I did my duty, and I saved the major's life in the process.
Commander will look over. You want to jump in with any further questions there?
Well, I mean, I have to hand it to you, Lieutenant Dietrich. I guess the major had said he didn't have a crystal ball, but you obviously took his because you knew exactly who was going to survive this encounter. Maybe we should get you in strategic planning. Maybe that's what the kind of brain you have.
My brain is best in tactical situations on the ground, sir. I looked at the major, judged his condition, judged that if he took another wound, it would be bad. Given the number of aliens we were facing, it is unlikely that he would have survived. But anybody who died from that was likely dead already.
Well, you may not have seen it, but when a commanding officer dies in the field, someone steps up to the plate. And that's true for sergeant. That's true for a major. It's true for just about any rank. Someone will do the job.
Sir,
that's what's important.
May I ask a question of you, sir?
Why don't you go ahead?
Do you really trust me to step up to do Major Miter's job, sir?
I trust anyone who gets the skull on their lapel to do the job. You're saying you're not fit to be a lieutenant?
I am fit to be a lieutenant. I have earned this position. But I suspect that God himself would piss his pants at the thought of me being a major.
Well, God's ability to hold doesn't really concern me at this moment. I'm concerned with the brigadier and what she's going to do when we're left with nowhere to go. We had to leave on these aliens who are a threat to Earth, and now we have nothing.
You have the major.
A major? There's 42 majors in the brigade and 121 captains ready to step into their place. Intel, once in a lifetime intel, is irreplaceable. So I think the court martial will adjourn. This is when you should roll your dice and see what they decide happens. Puckett, you're rolling a simple NFA check. I mean, 80% chance, right?
Yeah.
And it's a middling success, right? It's not terrible. Maybe there's a couple of riders that stink or that sting in the judgment, but you're not getting demoted, right? After all, you said you weren't suitable to be major, but you didn't say anything about not being suitable to captain. So there's 121 captains in the brigade now looking over their shoulder at Lieutenant Dietrich.
I'm sure I'll probably only kill a couple of them.
Only a couple. So yeah, what's the mood like back in barracks when the news comes out? So Rich, you can be Frost again.
But it's great. Yeah, we're like handing around a signing up for the idea of like secondary, like, hey, we should be stationed here on the rubble, this left. This is exactly what we want. I'm not going to ask Major Miter for that, but probably asking Sarge, like, hey, so Sarge, since all the monkeys are dead.
We need people to be in that listening post, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think asking disqualifies.
I don't think we were asking for us exactly, so we're not disqualified.
Asking for a friend?
Sir. For a friend, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who has the sense to ask to get put in a listening post, we need those kind of people on the front line. They're too sensible, right? I think there's enough loose cannons flying around the place. So what are you saying, Sarge? It's like a lottery. Pick a name out of a hat. I think your Sarge is giving you nothing. It's like, I'm not even gonna. He probably doesn't know, but he's not gonna let you know that he doesn't know.
Man, Sarge, this is rough. Hurts a lot.
I think we got to go back to Plan A, Frost. We got to piss in someone's tea, right?
All right.
So Dietrich gets back to barracks, still with the lieutenant insignia on his collar. What's he like when he gets back and everyone sees that he's still in charge of the platoon?
Looks like y'all are stuck with me a little bit longer.
Hoo-ah.
You okay, Frost?
Nothing a little R&R won't cure, sir.
Well, next time we're on R&R, first round's on me. I mean, yeah, I could still sock away enough as a lieutenant for however much long I have left as a lieutenant to pay for that.
All right.
Anybody upset with that call I made on the planet?
So yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple of people looking at empty bunks, right? Or bunks that are that have like the name tag taken out or something like that. There's going to be new replacements arriving in them as soon as the next shuttle comes. But yeah, I think they're probably on the fence, right? Unless you want to talk them around.
Yeah, I would like to approach them.
Dietrich, I think, we're just thinking we much prefer being killed by the aliens than being killed by ourselves, right? At least we got a fighting chance when it's not like a warhead landing on our head.
And that is very fair. All I can say is that if an orbital bombardment will kill someone, pretty much any alien would have done the same. And it saved a whole lot of other people. Now, You know, I don't stand too much on ceremony. So I'll tell you what. Each of you gets one free shot. You can swing at my breadbasket. You can take a punch. You can punch me in the face. No discipline will come to you. I will ensure it.
And this to me sounds like an NFA check, right? You're whether you get punched or not. I mean, it's just will your leadership be intact by the end of this, right?
Nope. Got a 9.
Ouch. So, what do you think that looks like? Is that like a real beating, or just like they walk away in disgust at your kind of attempt to be one of the troopers? What's the flavor of this?
Maybe that offer is kind of taken to be like an admission that you made the wrong call, even though that's not how you meant it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I like that.
I do think that Dietrich walks away with a couple of bruises.
yeah. And maybe it's like the people who take the shot are in the spirit you meant, but there's definitely one or two guys here going, I'll take my shot on the next planet, right? Yeah, let's cut to Miter. I think you've got a lot of paperwork to do, right? You've got some dead troopers to get their special effects and complete their form, and there's like on the form that you fill out for their cause of death and their like last action report, there's like a tick box down there that you've never had to fill out, for friendly fire or for overall environment or whatever the euphemism is, and you're just going through a stack of them, writing in the same thing every time, copy and paste the kind of, maybe there's a line from the court martial that explains it in very stark terms or whatever. And yeah, that's how does that make Miter feel filling out this paperwork?
I think he's trying to just get it done as quickly as possible. I think he's just got them laid out kind of next to each other 5 at a time, so he can just go across the line and just do it as efficiently as possible and with as little thought as possible.
Yeah. Okay. It's harsh lessons, huh? Okay, I think we might do a quick wrap up. Anyone want to add a little scene or a vignette before we close today?
I would. Once again, it's like, you've got camera pans around the ship. Everybody's asleep. Dietrich's up at a desk writing. And in his shaky cursive, such as it is, see him writing, "Dear Madam, I am sorry to inform you that your dearly beloved son," has to check the list. "Mike Stevens has died in the line of duty. He was a brave soldier, and he died as any soldier should, gun up, facing the enemy. Every soldier's death is my responsibility. This one in particular resulted from a decision that I made to save the lives of other soldiers. I am sorry. And I will carry his name with me. Signed, Lieutenant Dietrich. You see him write the name down on a little piece of paper and put it inside the interior band of his helmet. And then he starts the next letter.
Yeah, nice. I have a kicker though for you, right? This mission, Dietrich passed 2,000 kills. And that means like the next morning, the second bar on his kill badge arrives to mark that. And usually that's like a big ceremony. Like getting a bar is nothing to be ashamed of. But you know, the powers that be have like sent this to you in the internal mail, with a note that if you request a medal ceremony, you will get it.
There's no way I'm doing that.
Can I come in to?
Yeah, sure.
What does Terry say? Terry says, yeah, I think Terry knows like that it's when it's been delivered, so that's why it's not coincidence that he's showing up right at that moment. And it was a tough call.
Yes, sir.
But to be honest, I don't really know if it was the right call or not. You know what? If it was the wrong call, I can forgive you for that, and I'll pick up the bar to pin it on him. I just don't know, and I'll reach a hand out to where Betsy's mounted on the wall. I don't know if she'll forgive you. And I'll pin the bar on him if he'll let me.
Well, Betsy was a bit out of sorts that day. She might appreciate the assist. I guess I'll know soon enough. But for whatever it's worth, sir, I'm glad that you are here to pin the bar on. And had things gone otherwise, I am not certain that you would have been. Besides, do any of us really know if we've made the right decision?
No, I mean, the only reason they didn't take away your rank is they'd have to admit that they made a mistake giving it to you in the first place.
Well, we all know that's the damn truth. I'm blessed to be surrounded by good people. And they assist me, and, well, they stand behind me when the shooting starts. Usually they come back. Today, some did not. And that's part of what being an officer is, isn't it? Carrying the bodies with you. You don't really get to leave them behind.
No, you don't.
Okay, we cut there. Rich, you got anything to add for Frost?
Probably like the official notification comes out with the roster for those will be staying behind, and it doesn't have Frost or Oreo on it. They just go and they check the names and look at each other, shake their heads, and head back to the poker game.
Maybe the silver lining is that one of those best poker players has gotten the berth down planet. So, things are looking up, says Oreo.
Yeah, it's that close to us.
Yeah.
Plus, he has to leave some of his chips, right?
Yeah. He's got like a couple of technicians down there. I don't know. They probably don't even play trooper poker, right? Okay. So I guess we wrap up for this week.